I'm so glad you joined me for another video today. I'm going to do another installment of the A-Lister series. I've been talking about this type of series for a while now, and I think we have 4 or 5 installments. I did make a what do you call it, a playlist, so please be sure and utilize that whenever you can, because I have about 4 videos there already. But it's all about selling your jewelry and selling anything really, whether it be clothing or shoes or anything like that. It's all about sales because, as you know, and maybe you're in the same predicament, but when you frequent thrift stores quite a bit, as I have for many years, you wind up thinking that you have to buy everything there, that things are irresistible, they're irresistibly priced and so forth. And you wind up with a lot in your collections. And as is the case with many people as well, it can become kind of a problem, not only for real estate, but monetarily. You wind up spending a lot more on acquiring than you may even have, or that in the end you really need to move and you might be still selling a little bit less than you're buying, and that's what we want to avoid. So today I'm going to talk a lot about designer jewelry and regular jewelry, or jewelry that's mass produced or produced for the masses inexpensively, and how we can still manage to translate that kind of a profit, that kind of an item into a profit. So I hope that you enjoy this kind of content. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes while I open up the chat in just a minute, and then we'll start talking about that. And I'm sorry for drinking, but all of this talking really dries my throat. All right, let me open the chat and let's see how many people have joined me. I really want to thank you for being here, guys. All right, looks like we have Guillermo here, Jennifer, Gloria, Picky Chick, Adam's Exploits, Judith's here as well. And I'm just going to say hi to a few more people so we can get started and not spend too much time. Kathleen at this and that. And honestly, Ophelia, Guillermo. Oh my goodness, scratchy all over today. Scratchy throat, scratchy nose, or itchy nose. So anyway, guys, the premise of this video, I put a little tab in my community tab, a little picture there. And I also put it on Instagram. And I had showed it to you, this Hermes. I pronounce that wrong all the time. Hermes, not Hermes. Hermes, the H is silent. Okay, it's a prestigious French designer. We've all heard of it. They make these very expensive handbags that will cost you probably the price of a mortgage on some of them. They're super expensive, but everybody likes to buy prestige. And again, we're always talking about those 4 Ps: product placement, promotion, and price. But from the very beginning, the very first sales videos I did about here on A-Listers was about emotion, about evoking that emotion, because in the end, jewelry is not a necessity. It's never been a necessity unless it's, maybe a band that says that you're diabetic or something, a medical band. Other than that, nobody needs jewelry. They buy it because they feel good about buying it. There's an emotion attached to it somewhere, whether it's prestige, which is what Hermes or all designers are, or a sentimental value, or so forth and so on. So when I picked that out of the bag, I told you I was going to sell it for probably $80 because though it was broken, it had that wonderfully prestigious name of Hermes. So I did put it up for sale. I put it up on Mercari and I put it up on Posh. And Posh has a very funny policy. A lot of times they will bring things down until you can prove to them that they're authentic. So they've done that with a couple of my Chanel bangles, but I've sold them 3 times there. So they've managed to put them back up. But in the interim, when they pulled it down off of Poshmark, they just said they needed to see whether it was authentic, because they don't recognize things right away. A lot of things are not, like the Hermes bags, they're easier to see that they're made. This was kind of a unique piece. So in the interim, it sold on the other side. So I was really happy about that. It sold for $55. I had it for $99. I fished it out of a bag that I think cost me, Well, actually, I think that's the one my son gave me for Christmas. He gave me 3 bags from Chicago, 3 jewelry jar bags, whatever. And I think one of them was 9, one of them was 10 or so. They were all under 20. And that one I think was the cheapest one. And we opened it right there directly in Chicago, if you'll recall. And it had a crack on it. It actually had a beautiful inlay of mother of pearl, but a piece of it was cracked off. And I kind of listed it half-heartedly, really, because I really wanted to prove to myself that I could. And again, I put it for $99. She asked me to take 50, I believe, and I went ahead and took 60. I told her I would go 60 to cover the fees and so forth, and she agreed. So we sold it for that much. So that was fabulous. But next time I run into that, and I know that I will run into it, I really think that we all seem to have a mindset that we'll never run into things like that. But I've run into Yerman, I've run into Tiffany more than once. And that was my first Hermes, but I think I may run into it again. But next time, I am lucky enough to own a genuine Hermes that my sister gave me. I do have the box for it. I do have a bag for it. Next time I would, if I can, get this little box and drape it over there. But you can also obtain these cute little bags. I got this bag when I bought the perfume. And I could easily drape it over that or just have it strewn over that. Again, we're talking about evoking a need because you don't need jewelry. You just want it. So that's what I would do next time. I would list it like that. This is what I do always with my James Avery. I have a bag. I don't even have the boxes anymore. I'm, ship them out in their boxes and pouches when I do have them. So now I'm left with one bag, and I won't package anything in this bag or get rid of it anyway, because I love to picture my James Avery on top of the bag. Again, it's just making that person want it. You want them to click that buy button. They already know they don't really need another piece of James Avery, but you just want to evoke that need. The same thing with Tiffany. And Tiffany is expensive, but it also has, like we were talking about, I think it was Sandy who had a picture frame, and I bought it actually. And we were talking about how Tiffany has inexpensive items. They really do. They have keychains that are about $25 to $45. And you can pick up a little bag like this. They'll put it in there for you. Or if you have a Tiffany piece, take it in. They'll polish it for free, usually. Polish mine for free. And you'll be left with a beautiful little bag that you can use to market your items. The boxes, same thing. If you ask them for a box when you go in to get something polished, they'll give it to you. The pouches. And you don't always, if you do have some Tiffany pieces, you don't have to sell the pouch with it. I do. I happen to have some extras. And I think it's nice, especially if I'm asking for $100 for something, to put it in a pouch. But a lot of people on Poshmark do not even sell you the pouch. They just picture it there. It looks nice. They figure it's authentic and so forth, and it usually is. And like I said, Posh is very strict about their things. They still manage to get some counterfeit items in there, which, we can only help so much. They can't stop everyone. But it's always a good idea to acquire those kinds of things. And even if you don't have something like that, guys, putting it in a nice little pouch like this, maybe I was selling some rings or something. If I put it in a pretty little pouch that says Sparkle Every Day on it, and they could say that they got this as well, it really will help you sell that item. I bought something on Posh the other day. It was a little, I think it was 3 rings, and I think they were just little sterling bands. They weren't anything expensive, but I bought it because she included a rose quartz jewelry box, a tiny little trinket box. And that sold it for me because I really wanted some rose quartz in my house. And so that's what I'm saying today, is things like that will really help you. But then we're going to go back to, from the very prestigious, another thing I had, let me see where it is. Here. Oh, I do have an Hermes scarf that I thrifted a while back. I don't even like this scarf, actually. I should sell it. I only have it because it's Hermes. And I did thrift it, and it is authentic, and it says so there. I would, if I ever sold anything again, I would, put it right here on this beautiful scarf. Or when I sell this scarf, I'm going to drape it over the Hermes bag. It's just adding more and more value, which is what you always want to do. You want to add value to your listing in any way that you can. whether it be even a little screenshot of an Hermes logo. If you can get that in the corner of your listing, why not? You're not going to get flagged for that if it's an authentic piece. Let me say hello to a couple more people while I take another drink. Yes, it does make the picture pop out. Hey, Mary, how are you? And Jackie and Harley Gran. I'm so glad you're here. Now we're going to talk about the other side of the spectrum, but where you can still convey value. Okay, we don't all get lucky enough to find or an Hermes, or a Tiffany, or even a David Yurman. And I pulled out my David Yurman to wear, but I also just realized, and I had this thrown somewhere else, I have a David Yurman cloth. I don't even know where I got it. But if I ever decide to list this little Yurman that I found in a jewelry bag last month, I don't need a box. I'll put it right there and I'll make it look like, yeah, I've had it a while. Look at that. I even have the cloth. You know, it's perceiving, it's you valuing it, you treasuring it even more so. And that person's going to be like, yeah, I need to have that. She's had it probably forever. She's probably taken care of it and so forth. So that always helps to convey value, even with a lowly little polishing cloth. All right, now I wanted to talk about packaging your other items, your everyday items. For example, this one I just pulled out from a beautiful bag that Elizabeth sent me, and I was raving about it because it's so pretty. It's such a pretty enamel. The color's gorgeous, but I think I'll box it up like this if I ever choose to sell it. I'll put it in the box as well. I'll show it in a picture in the box. I will put it on a form. I may even take a picture of myself wearing it because all of those pictures are important. But this little box says gems on it. It's very fancy. It's got, these are actually were given to me by Guillermo, thank you. And lots of velvet in the back here, a nice little prestigious velvet box. You take a picture of something like this, doesn't it just look more valuable than something you fished out of a grab bag? I think it does. And what brought me to this has been a while that I wanted to talk about packaging. When I found this Napier, I was very excited to see that it was Napier, but then they ruined it by putting the price on it. So in this case, packaging doesn't help me. And not only, even if it hadn't had the price written all over it so blatantly and so grotesque, I don't even think I would have put it in this package. I think it would give me more pause. I think I would give it more consideration rather if it was out of this packaging and on a velvet backing or on a lapel, a collar, and then maybe say with box, new in a box, box is compromised or something like that. But this is where you don't need the package. This is where it really hurts your sales. Nobody wants to see that. And like I said, even if it was clean, I just think it degrades it just a tad to have it on a cardboard box. Maybe if it was a velvet box, maybe that would be better. So that was one. And then here's a really pretty brooch that I saw the other day in an auction, and I bought it. And when I saw it in the auction, it was late, and I thought it was actually Napier. For some reason, I thought it said Napier. I still love it. I think it's gorgeous. And it was a $20 brooch. This is originally $20. It's a beautiful Christmas brooch. But again, I'm not sure if I would leave it in this holiday because it's not, it says Macy's holiday. I'm not sure if I would leave it in here. I think I would prefer to just have it on a red velvet background. I think it looks better. I think it says value more than this little cardboard box, in my opinion, because first of all, it looks vintage. The brooch, the design looks like a vintage ornament. And then you put the box with it, and I think it kind of brings it down a couple of notches. You tell me what you think. What do you guys think about packaging and all of that, and how you can convey your value without that? Another thing I can't stand is tickets hanging down. I don't know about you guys, but if you're familiar with any of the designer bags, you will know, and that's one of the first things you look for when you're looking at bags online, the designer Louis Vuittons and all of that. And one of the first things that screams counterfeit is when they have the little tag hanging down from it, or when the handles are wrapped in plastic. That's counterfeit. And it's absolutely counterfeit right off the bat, because designers put their tags inside of a pocket of the bag, and sometimes they don't even put them at all. So that's not a plus to have a new with tag. That's a wonderful thing, you know, for a stereo maybe, but for jewelry, it's not always going to translate well. What have you guys found? How do you like to list your jewelry? Yes, absolutely. Outside of the box, I think is a lot better. I really, really do. I don't care if it's Napier, if, you know, like I said, even maybe if it was a velvet box, and then I would do maybe a picture with the box, second picture, but the first picture that I want to capture that customer with is not going to be in the box. Unless it happens to be, you know, a Tiffany box or something, and you could put it on top or next to it or something like that. That would be nice. And then another thing that I have found people do, and I can't stand it, is they put it in the package. New in a package, okay, good. Now you got it where? Which dollar store? Was it Dollar Tree or was it 99 cents? Because that's what it looks like. I could take this out and I could make it look like it's not 99 cents. I don't even know where it came from, actually. I believe, and these are earrings too. I believe this came from a jewelry jar. I don't even buy jewelry jars if they have a bunch of this package stuff, because to me it just screams Dollar Tree. So I really can't stand to see. I don't even like when people do hauls and they don't bother to take things out of the bag. I can't see through the bag, guys. Take it out. So I would totally take it out of this package. I would put it on a nice little velvet. I would put the earrings there, and I would not be afraid to ask for $10 for this set when it probably cost 50 cents. You know, when you put it on here, it just looks so much better. Or you wearing it in all of the above. That's one thing there. And then here's another piece, again, with the little tags that I was telling you about. This I found, I believe, at a Goodwill, and it is sterling, and it is onyx, and it is lovely, and it is from Macy's. But I won't show it to you with a tag, whether I was in a, I don't know, I just would not do it, whether I was in an auction or whether I was trying to sell it to you. I would not even picture the tag. I would hide it, and I may tell you it's new with tags and then take a picture of the tag, but it does nothing for the piece. And I'm even thinking of taking it off completely, because I just think it gives it more prestige, more desirability without a little tag hanging out. It doesn't matter that it's from Macy's and it says $25 or whatever. I want to ask for $50. I want to ask for $50 for this beautiful piece. It's gorgeous. It's onyx. It's sterling. But, you know, on here, the only time I really leave these tags is if they're quaintly vintage. And they have a little perforation or something, and they say some store that's now obsolete. That's the only time I would leave a dangling tag, because I have had some beautiful clothing, Western rockabilly type clothing and things like that. And I love showing the potential customer, hey, this actually sold for $5 back in '65 or something. But other than that, I don't even think I would leave this Macy's tag. I really don't think I would do that. I would much rather put it on a very nice little form and a model, if I could get a model to do it as well. My daughter models for me. I sometimes take pictures of myself wearing it. I mean, what good is it? You're not selling clothing. You're selling emotion here more than with clothing. It's a whole other beast. So that person really wants to know that this is valuable. This is treasure, not trash. And it just looks so much better than putting it just right there with a tag hanging off of it. Mass. This is mass. When you put a tag on it, it says mass produced, mass consumption, not desirable, not designer, not exclusive. That's what it says. That's what the tag says to people. So again, you don't have to have a Tiffany. You don't have to have, I want to keep practicing saying this name. You don't have to have an Hermes to perceive value. You really do not. And that's why people go to places like QVC, where they can buy designer items. I was going to bring, but I'll just tell you. The reason that the reason that Joan Rivers made such a killing, I mean, she was always a wonderful comedian and made her money, but then she kind of waned from the showbiz community. She was actually ostracized and blackballed for being an aggressive woman, which is such a shame. But she made a really good transition on QVC because she wore prestigious jewelry. She had the Bulgari. She had all of that Cartier. She had wonderful, wonderful taste. No one can take that from her. So she translated it to the masses on QVC. But she had that image of always being an impeccable dresser, always wearing the most beautiful jewelry. And she was able to translate that into costume jewelry, which is now highly, highly collectible still because she put the design in it. When she sold it, I don't know if you guys were ever able to see her, but when she sold it, she talked all about its quality, all about how hefty it was, how she, handpicked the faux pearls and how they were strung and so forth and so on. She put all of those qualities of fine jewelry into her costume pieces, and she made millions. She was able to supplement that showbiz income that she made for the first 30 years of her life into the last 40, 50 years of her life. So it's an incredible thing, but it's something that can be done with jewelry every single day. Every single day, you can do that. You can convey this kind of need because, again, we don't need jewelry. We do not need it. We want it. We want it. We want new jewelry. We love it. And that's how you do it. Let me hear some of your opinions. If you have any questions, highlight. I'll try not to miss my questions. I miss them often, and I'm really sorry. Hey, Donna. Picky Chick, Anita, thanks for being here. What do you put behind the stand or box for the background? I try to do a plain background. I also have used this little wooden armoire quite a bit for just a plain background. And I've talked about using scarves as well, especially if they're neutral, maybe gold and brown and black, depending on the color of the jewelry as well. But, and then I always try to square the photo so you don't get any background. You really don't want any background if you can avoid it. You got a full-size mannequin. It's totally changed my pictures. Absolutely. Did you hear what I said last week about taking those long necklaces from the top down? They really do work. Okay, another package here that I got. And it was a shame that it came in this box because it's a beautiful piece. It's pearls and crystals, genuine pearls, and it's from Coldwater Creek. And Coldwater Creek is a mail order, right? This has a price of $90 on it, guys, in the back. No, $69. Yeah, $69 is what it says in the back. But the box is compromised. It does nothing for the jewelry. It's white on white background. So what do I need the package for? Why is new in a box even an issue? It's not. It's a horrible box. So I won't do that. This plain little sterling silver zirconia. Look how quaint and beautiful it looks in this vintage box with aqua colored velvet. It just makes it look like it was in someone's closet, in someone's jewelry box for years, and it makes it look more desirable. Of course, I'm going to put it on my hand as well, or someone's hand, or, a finger, or one of those forms or whatever. But picturing something like this is packaging you want. Again, you're evoking emotion here, sentimental value, possibly prestigious value with this or with this. And then I got, I wanted to show you real quickly, guys. These are the earrings that were in Guillermo's bag that I opened yesterday that my daughter said, please give them back immediately. She has not taken them off since. Aren't those beautiful? They're pink crystals, and she loves them. And if I were to ever sell them, I don't know if I'd put them on this crystal stand or not. I'd probably put them on some kind of a hanky or something. But she won't let me have them. But I did want to show you those, Guy. I want to thank you for those. They were right here. But, okay, that was one. And then here's a beautiful pair of earrings, $22. Panacea. Now this actually looks very pretty because it's clean. It looks very nice. And they're so thin that I'm not sure if I would take them off of this package. And they are also from Nordstrom. Again, prestige. You want to convey emotions. You want to evoke that you're selling something precious, not trashy. This is a good brand. And they don't look bad on this package. Now, I would probably still put them on a little form and a model if I could. Now, even something as lowly as this that just came out of a jewelry jar, I put it in a beautiful little package here, a pouch, which I'll probably ship it on, and I'm making it look even more special. People love buying things for themselves. They love giving to themselves because a lot of people are alone. They've got, you know, they're empty nesters or widows, whatnot, and they just love buying, or they love getting things that they're going to give to someone else in a nice presentation. It's all about presentation. Even the food we eat, don't we love when we go to a nice restaurant and they present it in really pretty plates and they swirl the sauces and all of that? It's all about presentation in jewelry. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter if they're paying $500 or $5. Why do you think that people are buying cheap jewelry? Everybody makes fun of paparazzi, and it's $1 billion company because someone is very good at selling it. Someone is very good at selling it. And I was going to show you the package for paparazzi because one of my coworkers gave me one the other day. I think she's trying to recruit me to sell. I'm not sure, but she actually said she was thanking me for taking one of her students who was giving her trouble. He's one of my students, but he's mainstream. So I had to take him for the whole day because he was pretty rough that day. And she said, I want you to have these. It's the least I can do. And it was a paparazzi. Here it is. Paparazzi bracelet. And I said, oh, thank you so much. I'm going to take it right out of that package because this company has a reputation for cheap jewelry. So I don't think it needs a name. It's not a good name. So I'm not going to leave it new in a package. Paparazzi. No. I'm going to sell it as a cute little silver bracelet with some pearl dangles and put it on another little piece or a piece of velvet or something and possibly sell that for 10 instead of the 5 because I believe everything sells for 5 in this brand. All right, that's one thing. Now, I guess I got the point across about packaging. I'm going to, oh, here's another really pretty package. And again, this one has prestige, so I would leave it on. It's nice and clean as well, Talbots. And they're so tiny that they really need this space, this white space. So I would leave these. These are little pineapples. Aren't they cute? Little gold pineapples. Talbots has a nice reputation. It's not super high-end, but it's definitely in the higher end of the department store type of stuff. And the card is nice and clean. In this case, it may stay there. I would still probably put a nice little background. I would probably sit it on a velvet box or something like that. Okay. Same thing with Christmas brooches, guys. I got this Christmas brooch and a few more, I believe, last year. And you can tell it's not vintage, but I wouldn't put it in the box because I don't want it to scream not vintage. I want it to, you know, give a little bit of evocation of years past, vintage Christmas, good times, good memories. So I'm not going to put it in the little, and it wasn't even a box, I think it was just a card because you're downgrading it right away. You're downgrading it. You have to put it to where people want it. And then, of course, I would use my keywords, quality, hefty, enamel, and all that good stuff to move it. Again, sentimental value. You're not going to get the sentimental value if you put it in the Dollar Tree tag. All right. Now, I was going to also talk to you about the designer element of the, oh, and then, of course, this one. I got this one from Anita. Isn't that gorgeous? If I ever sell this, do you think I'm going to put it in a box so that, like, you know, a cardboard Napier box? No, I'm going to put it in a nice velvet backing. because it's beautiful on its own. But if I put it in that black velvet or red velvet backing, it's going to upgrade it about 10 notches. Love that. Now I wanted to talk to you about James Avery, because I received this beautiful cross from Elizabeth the other day, and I was telling you that I thought it was longer. And when I looked for it, because I wanted to make sure that that I wasn't mistaken and it wasn't a bigger one. Well, it turns out this is actually the medium one. And assuming if there's a medium, there's a small and a large. So I saw the medium, I saw the small, and the small is darling. They actually make it for your bracelets. So be aware of that, guys. When you price your James Avery or when you find it, be sure to look and see if it's not made in different sizes, because James Avery does that. They make them for their charm bracelets. They make them for pendants. Then this one even comes in a larger one, but I love this one. It's such a perfect size. I got so many compliments on it. It is so pretty. And I didn't realize it had all of the symbols, the Christian symbols, including the Ichthus there at the bottom. Just beautiful. But again, it does come in different sizes. And then you saw me pull out this the other day, the bangle that I told you was a classic with the horse. Turns out the horse comes in different sizes too. So the horse comes in a small that people were selling for around the $40 range. Be sure and hit the thumbs up, guys. I just noticed there's 100 people watching. I can't thank you enough for being here. Go on over and turn that thumb for me blue. But this one is in the $100 range because this is the extra large one. So it's even more rare. And then not only is the horse larger, but the bangle is too. Remember I told you I already had the bangle? Well, look at how much bigger this bangle actually fits in this one. So it also comes in different sizes. I think it sells for the same, though. I don't believe they changed the prices on small, medium, and large bangles. And this is a hammered piece. It's a hook on. It's a classic. Sells for about $80, maybe $125. I don't remember now. In the store, still around. But I'm going to keep this larger one because it's a lot more comfortable to move around. When I put it on, I can actually twist it around easier. And I can slip it off. I can actually slip it off, and the other one I have to open and twist it around and so forth. So yeah, be aware of that. They do come in different sizes, and therefore they could be rarer or they could cost more. That's really, really important to know about James Avery. They do make things in different sizes. So I think that was what I was going to tell you. Oh, and then of course, when you are selling things like paparazzi, if you do find things like paparazzi or those other types of just, you know, regular costume jewelry, avoid the words that we've always talked about. Avoid plastic, avoid you know, lightweight or whatever. Say comfortable weight. Say bead instead of plastic bead. You don't really have to downgrade your item. Sometimes you downgrade your own item. I have talked about that before, how people do that. Or they'll say it's still got a lot of life left in it. No, tell me how beautiful it is. Tell me how it shows minimal signs of wear. Again, the Hermes bracelet sold because I said it was flawed, but it did not diminish its beauty. It's the beauty of its the integrity of its beauty, or something like that. Some wording that I used, but again, that brand is prestige. It would have sold itself whether I had put it on the bed or behind an orange bag, in front of an orange box or an orange bag. It would have sold itself because you are selling feelings. Just remember that you're always selling feelings. Don't ever forget that, whether it's sentimental, whether it's prestige, anything. That's why people buy jewelry. They buy it because it makes them feel a certain way. There's a reason why we walk around with empty wallets, but we want this wallet. There's a reason why we do that. You can't forget that. Prestige sells, and you can have prestige with paparazzi. You can have perceived value with paparazzi. If you remember, certain packages are good, certain packages are not. There's no reason to have them. They downgrade them. You know, again, this one too. Plastic packaging. It says fashion jewelry or accessories. That says Dollar Tree. That says for the masses to me. I'll take it off of here. I'll put it on some velvet packaging. This does not say to me, oh, it's new. I want it because it's new. No, it says 10,000 other people bought this for $1 at the Dollar Tree. Remember that. Oh, here's another one before I leave. This is Park Lane. Again, it's not a bad looking tag, and Park Lane does have a pretty good reputation. So I'll leave that. I'll show it in a picture, but I'll hide it for the original picture because this is a beautiful, beautiful necklace. And it really doesn't need all of that immediate communication about whether it's new or not. You want to make sure that they see the beauty of the piece first. Then it is nice that it's new and you can show this tag, but don't show it in your picture. There's no need for it. All right, I believe that's all I was going to talk about today. I want to thank you for being here. I hope you learned something today. If you have any other suggestions for this particular series, I'd appreciate hearing about it. I have taken into account all of your questions and comments. Let me tell you a little bit more about my private auction that I'm going to have. I'm putting together a Facebook group that is going to be private. And the reason it's in the group is because I want to send out invitations. I don't know if I'm going to have the auction on Facebook or on YouTube, but I know I want to put together this group on my Facebook first. I think it can hold 250 people, but I don't even think I'm going to get that many. I don't know. But if you have written to me before, you don't have to keep putting it in other videos because I'm probably not going to see it. But my email is thelmahordes@gmail.com. I have gotten a lot of emails. You will be getting a response from me very soon as I put the group together. And then we will go from there. I also would like to parlay that group into a sort of a portfolio for my things, so that if things are not sold in the original auction, you can always come back and look, and I'll be adding new things. This is my goal. I don't know. Nothing is set in stone yet, but that's how I'm starting. I'm going to make the Facebook group first. I'm going to invite you to join that group. If you don't have Facebook, don't worry about it. We'll work out another method, but it's just that I want to have all of your email and all of that information that way first. So don't think that you're going to be automatically excluded or whatnot because you don't have a Facebook. I know a lot of people don't. Okay, so I will try to put that email in this description so that you'll know about it. I'll put it in my other one, my original auction video, and so you can be informed about that. But I'm really excited about it. I want to really bring you things that you haven't seen before. I want to bring you my collection, basically. I've talked to you before about my, you've seen it. You've seen how big it is. And I mean, that's kind of what, to me, jewelry is. You just sell it. It's kind of like you move it on, you curate it, you let someone else buy it and use it, and they can do whatever they want with it as well. And so that's why I want to have this venue. I've been talking about it for a while. That's what I want to do. I do want to start with an auction and then hopefully make it sort of a Facebook group just for members, and no charge or anything like that. But I just want to be able to know that there are people that appreciate me and appreciate jewelry, and I certainly appreciate you guys being here. I hope you come back really soon for another video. I am just finished uploading a jewelry jar where I found some wonderful things. One thing surprised me. I didn't know what it was till the next day. So be sure and watch that, and you'll probably see that in the auction too. Those beautiful pieces I found. Thanks again, guys. I really appreciate you very much.